But no, this item is it's a face screen, and its purpose, it has one purpose and one purpose only, and that's to shield someone's face from the heat of the fireplace. Because as you might imagine, this big cast iron fireplace gets pretty warm. And the two women who lived here, I think, would have had very different perspectives on this. The lady of the house would have looked at this and pointed out to someone the very intricate, fancy beadwork, and mentioned, that this is to keep a lady's face cool and dry and protected from the fire. And the maid would probably talk about, well, geez, I'm the one who has to build the fire every morning. I'm the one who has to drag the coal up from the cellar. And the maid would have to talk about cleaning something like this. And I get the feeling that a woman who worked would have thought something like this was kind of silly, really. Here again, the two people who lived in this house would have looked at this item very differently. This is a sideboard. It's a real display piece sort of furniture. It was made locally here in the 1840s. And the lady of the house would have, if she was showing you around her house, she would have talked about the materials that it's made out of, the design details, that it's Second Empire style, and would have pointed out some of the design features of it. The maid, on the other hand, because they only had one servant, the maid most likely would have served the family their food at the table. So she would talk more about how when she brought the food in from the kitchen and offered it to the family, it would be set over here on the sideboard. She probably would talk a little bit more about the kind of food that the family ate and how much they ate. The Victorian middle class ate a lot of food. And she would also talk about having to clean this thing, because not only would it get dusty, the past was a very dusty place. You'd get food on it, and I'm sure the lady of the house expected that it be kept very, very clean and very well polished. So this is a coal bucket, and obviously it's used to store coal. And for the maid of the house, this would have been a fairly constant, very heavy companion for her, that she would have had to go down to the basement and load up with coal to get the fires going. But what I think is very interesting about it is that it is decorative. So that if it's something that's sitting out in the house, you can see some coal inside there. If this was something that was sitting out in the house, it had to be decorative. It couldn't merely be functional. So that this could be something that could sit next to the fireplace, and that the lady of the house wouldn't have been embarrassed for her guests to see sitting there.